Vinyl Guru, honey, in the house, baby. And we have a very interesting one. Today, we're going to talk about a weird blogger who had a little something to say about us. Yes, us vinyl nerds. So, let's get into this, see why she's so angry, and comprehend what? Yeah. Alright, so the article is... it was on The Independent, too, which blows my mind. It's a pretty big publishing company. But anyway, The Independent said, this lady, Katie Edwards, vinyl sales are at a high, but owning records is a pointless endeavor. She's really trying to come for us, isn't she? The electronic alternative is less appealing to a snobby vinyl enthusiast because it allows fewer opportunities for them to parade their taste at dinner parties. Darling. Okay, let's get into a little bit more of this. So she proceeds to go on. So let's look into what she says in this dang thing, because it's gonna kill you. It's going to absolutely destroy you. Okay, ABBA, not content with dominating the charts and wedding playlists for decades, are now responsible for the resurgence of in the sale of vinyl records, which according to the BBC has reached its highest level in 3 decades. Congratulate yourselves, all boys and girls. We have done it. Yes. Screeching out in the bleachers. This is amazing. We have come together, banded together for the love of this dang thing. Why this lady has the nerve to create such a bitter, angry article about us doing something we love, I will never understand. There are always people that are ready to just come out guns blazing while you're doing some peaceful hippy-dippy dance. It never makes sense, honey. Doesn't make sense. Let's carry on here. What's going on? Yeah, lady, what is going on? Snobbery. Okay. To me, the irony is that she's dubbing us the snobs. But this attitude is more than snobby to me. It's a whole lot of crazy. 0 to 10? Honey, put her at 50. Okay. Vinyl is fragile and unreliable, and it scratches easily, and it jumps irritatingly with any nearby vibrations. What are you, listening to records in a junkyard? What are you listening to records at like a public schoolyard where the kids are jumping up and down playing skip rope? What is this? Listen, lady, if you're doing this right, it won't exactly feel like your needle is jumping up and down at a schoolyard. You got this. Let us school you. Let us make it fun for you. You're just frustrated because nobody let you in on this and made it fun for you. And now you're hating us because one person probably made you feel so bad about not knowing anything about records that you hate us all now. We're cool people, man. We're cool people. Okay. I just don't understand. I'm getting this bitter. She probably had an ex who had a lot of records. It's a very high fidelity moment I'm getting right now from this lady. But okay, I proceed to go on here. Let's go. Okay, she goes, I should know. Takes up a lot of space, so much space, I should know. 1/3 of my dining room is dedicated to my husband's precious LP collection. Okay, there it is. There it is, folks. I knew there had to be some man in her life that just was such a deterrent to her in some way, and records had somehow found their way into this annoyance. It just had to make sense in that way. All right, so he travels miles to record fairs and spends hundreds of hours searching through hundreds of records on the lookout for additions to his collections. Some of his collections are rare enough that he's reluctant to play them in case they get damaged. Well, that is a bit of a debacle, isn't it? There is that whole situation where if you have a record, are you that nervous that you don't want to play it anymore? And, you know, what do you do? Is it here to stay or here to play? That's a bit of a different situation. But who are you, little Miss Thang, to tell him what to do with his own spare time. I never understood wives that kind of did this whole thing. And now I understand more and more and more for the past maybe 10 years now. I've really understood the reasoning behind all of those memes that you would constantly see on women that always nagged their husbands. Okay. We've had many conversations about the appeal of vinyl, but I'm still at a loss. Me too. Apparently, it's something like the difference between books and Kindles, the sensory charm of the physical format that is comforting and reassuring. Indeed, my dear, indeed. The size of the LPs means that one can appreciate the album artwork more easily. This is so. I'm told that watching vinyl spin around the turntable can be hypnotic. This is so. You tell my 11-year-old self that? It was like I took acid. Whoa. Purists might say that vinyl offers superior sound quality to that of streaming services, but I can't hear the difference beyond the unmistakable opening crackle of the low hiss in the record playing. Unfortunately, I've heard that sound played too many times on crime thrillers, and now I can't hear it without a prickle of anxiety, and this is a prelude to an entrance of a serial killer. You see, this lady's got this pent-up trauma built up within her that she's now created these boundaries, created these walls. When she even hears the very word of I know, it tenses her up. And I mean, it's got her sphincter all clenched. That's not our problems, lady. That sounds like a you problem, not a me problem. So to you to make an article about this is just full-on hate speech for no reason. Unnecessary. You could have just went to a therapist about this. Did you have to make an entire? No. But here's the problem. People want to be heard. They need to be heard. They want to be validated. They don't want to just do this quietly, like go to a therapist or something. They want to make articles about this so that they can feel the hatred from other women and that they can come together and create a giant hate group. And it's now called a support group for everybody disliking a particular. There's groups now, not just for liking things. There are groups now for people that band together that also dislike things. It's like you all come together for your equal love or hate to something. To me, this is kind of odd that you're creating such a wave of hate, especially on a huge publishing circuit like The Independent, just to proclaim your hate to vinyl. Are you that lazy, journalists, nowadays? I don't get it. There's a lot of things to make note of, but to me, this is sort of cheap journalism. What are your thoughts, guys? Let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. And more news to come. Ta-ta. Toodaloo. Jeez. Full of hate, pent up. Crazy cat ladies. Good God.